One of the big stories of this past week, first reported by Brett Okamoto of ESPN.com, was the fact that Michael Chandler, one of the hottest free agents in the sport, in the game, has decided to re-sign with Bellator. We had been wondering for the past couple of months if he would resign and stick with the organization that he's been with for so long, and that, in my opinion, he has been the face of. Or would he perhaps take his talents to the UFC and finally test the waters over there? In the end, he chooses to resign with Bellator. And do we have him via the magic of Skype, or do we not have him? I was kind of waiting from the corner of my eye to see him pop up, but we'll get him there in a matter of seconds. All right, I think we do have him. There he is. Hey, Mike, what's up?
What's up, Ariel? How are you, man?
I'm doing great. All right, we have a lot to talk about, and boy, oh boy, how many times have I been bothering you over the last couple months? Like how many? I would say like 5. And my ratio to getting a response, because what I love about you, Mike, is that you respond like within seconds. You're one of those guys. You're on the ball. You're doing crazy workouts, but somehow you're always responding. Last couple of weeks, not a lot of responses out of you, but I don't take it personally. I'm just happy that we could talk again.
Exactly, man. No, I like your style. Obviously, these last couple weeks have been a very interesting couple weeks, and it's been one of those deals where you just gotta keep your nose to the grindstone. I didn't want too much information out there. If I had information, I would give you information. So.
Right. So in the end, you did in fact re-sign with Bellator, correct?
Yes.
All right. Why did you re-sign with Bellator?
Millions of reasons. I got millions of reasons I signed with Bellator. Not the least of which was the fact that it's a great organization. They've taken great care of me over the last almost decade. I get taken care of very well, and I'm excited to continue my talents with Bellator.
Could you tell us the terms of the new deal? How many fights? How many years? Anything you could tell us?
No, not really. I can tell you it's a lot less than you think it is. So
Oh,
that's good. It's always good to have options. It's always good to continue to commit to this contract, commit to this commitment that I've made with Bellator. But I'm still a very young, hungry champion in this sport, and I got a lot of years of fighting left in me. And I'm excited for these next couple fights to really continue to showcase my skills, really continue to step into that cage and do what I always do, and put on a great show. I'm going up to San Jose very soon, probably next week, to sit with Coker and Rich Chu and those guys to kind of talk about the future, talk about the roadmap, talk about some of the big fights we can have coming up, and see what happens.
when you say less than we probably think, are we talking like 2 fights, 3 fights, 4 fights? What are we talking about?
It's more than two.
More than 2?
More than 2 fights.
Less than
More than 2
6?
fights. So I'll do Bellator for the short foreseeable future for sure. So we're enjoying this ride right now. We just signed this deal. It's it's not one of those deals that ends signed with Bellator for the rest of my career. You guys are signing these deals where it's 8, 10, 12 fights. We wanted to have contract re-signed. It's never on your terms as a fighter. As you know, these contracts are never on the fighter's terms. But myself, my manager, Martin, he have been working with Bellator. It's just been absolutely amazing to work with. When you talk about hard-fought contract negotiations, little words here, little words there, one little word that can take the context of the sentence and flip it upside down in the promoter's favor. It can flip it upside down to the fighter's favor. There was a lot of decisions that we needed to make, a lot of language in the contract we wanted to make sure it was bulletproof and a great contract.
Okay. Did you talk to the UFC?
I never talked to the UFC, so I guess as the even though I'm the fighter, my voice or things were taken somewhat out of context. I think there was numerous reports out there that I was a free agent. And I was able to negotiate with the UFC and all that kind of stuff. I never actually became, you would call, a free agent. So no, there was no talks with the UFC. I was very much confined to the stipulations of my contract, which did not give me access to be able to go out and negotiate anything with other promotions.
Are you able to further explain that? So what, your contract wasn't officially expired? Or they weren't letting, how does that work?
So the contract was, I guess, officially expired. But in these contracts, there's always certain things that may tack on a month or two here and there, and that's pretty much what happened. So I was never actually in the exclusive negotiation, or I was never in a non-exclusive negotiation period with Bellator.
Okay.
I was still under my Bellator contract
Gotcha.
that I signed 2 years ago.
And did you consider allowing the contract to expire so that you could officially become a free agent, so that you could just see what's out there for you?
Every single day for the last 6 months. It's because it's a crazy sport. This is a crazy sport. The lightweight division in the world is probably one of the toughest in the entire world. It's a mixed martial arts game, and there's a lot of guys out there who I'd love to fight. There's a lot of guys out there I'd love to test myself against. So, of course, when you're in this position, it doesn't mean that I'm not extremely happy with the way Bellator has treated me. It doesn't mean that I'm not happy with how Bellator has treated me over the last 10 years or what I have with Bellator. It's more about, the what ifs. It's more about the fans and everybody reaching out to me, telling me, I was the guy that could beat Khabib by wrestling. I was the guy that could beat this guy, beat that guy. And, it's a beautiful thing. It's awesome to hear from the fans. But there's also those same fans that are saying, I'm this and I'm that for re-signing with Bellator or whatnot. But it's an interesting game. It's an interesting time in my life. And I had to make the best decision I could with the information that I had, and not just think about the here and now, not just think about me stepping into the cage, trying to think about 10 years from now, trying to think about being done and retiring from mixed martial arts and being able to retire for the rest of my life. Those are the kind of decisions that I want to make.
How long before you would have become an exclusive free agent?
Pretty darn quick. It was a matter of days. So that's kind of where we were.
Wow. So why didn't you just wait at that point? You made it that far.
Man, you got, like I said, you got to make the best decision you can with the information that you're given. Percent of fighters out there, not just in the lightweight division, but all the way from featherweight to heavyweight, were offered the skill that I have. They were taking it. They
Okay.
were about negotiations. They were worried about what promotion it was with. They were worried about when their fight was, who they were fighting. They would have signed their name on the dotted line. That's a lot of people who don't care about anything except the term of the contract and the money of the contract. There's a lot of language that fighters need to stand up for themselves and negotiate for that I've been able to exercise. And I'm excited about the future, not just with Bellator, but with other Viacom properties and the relationships that I've made, the leverage relationships that I've made, the personal cell phone relationships, personal dinners and drinks with big wigs here in this, not just Bellator, but Viacom as a whole. So it's exciting. The future's bright.
Okay. Has your next fight been decided?
No, it has not.
Will your next fight be against Brent Primus for the belt?
Who?
That's the fight that I think everyone wants to see, right?
I don't know. I honestly, how do you want to see me fight anybody who hasn't fought in almost 2 years on his own choice? I've fought 2 times since then, dang near finished 2 opponents since then, provided for my family twice since then, not to mention all the appearances and outside cage stuff that I've done. And current champion, so-called champion, is teaching kids jiu-jitsu somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. So I don't know if we'll ever see him fight. I think there's a better chance of he's probably fighting someone else before him, and probably a big name that we.
If you had your way, who would be your next opponent? You had the pick of the litter. Who would it be?
Eddie Alvarez.
Oh, in Bellator?
Hey. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, is that a thing?
It sounds like it's a thing. People are talking about it. I mean, he's done with his contract, so we'll see. I mean, everybody wants to see that trilogy fight. I think it's got legs. I think there's not a trilogy out there or a matchup out there that makes more sense in mixed martial arts. So I'd love to be able to make that fight happen.
Wow. Are you in contact with Eddie?
I'm not in contact with Eddie. No. I respect Eddie? Yeah, but we're not friends. We're not talking.
Right.
So I'd love to see him step over and see if we can't make some magic.
November 19th, 2011, the greatest night in MMA history. Hendo Shogun, Chandler Alvarez going on simultaneously. That would be incredible. But you are are they telling you they're trying to go after him? What can you tell us?
I don't have any news. I mean, I can tell you. Obviously Eddie's contract is done, and I can tell you that UFC or that Bellator has heard from me that I want them to sign him. They've been hearing this now for years. I've been telling you guys to sign the best guys they possibly can. Throw as much money as you can, as many guys as you can. Let's build this lightweight division, because if not, I got to continue to beat up a little loudmouth at 145 or go up to 170 and make her, because the current champion, so-called champion here in Bellator, refuses to come out of retirement.
When do you think you'll fight again? Do you think you'll fight this year?
I'll definitely fight this year. So I'm on track to fight 3 times this year, which is great. I mean, with the purses that I'm making, fighting 3 times in a year, God willing, your body is healthy. I'm able to make a great life for my family, and a great future for my family. So that's the goal. I mean, November, October's now getting too close now. So I would probably say November or December if they have any cards in December.
By the way, did you watch the Cejudo DJ fight, and were you getting deja vu when you saw what was happening to Cejudo's foot in the first round?
I did see that. Yeah, no, that was definitely interesting. And he definitely showed signs of the same sign that kind of went on with my ankle, and he was able to come back from it, though. It's pretty cool. You saw him switch to southpaw, which in hindsight, I wish I would have switched to southpaw, because I could have pushed off, but I couldn't lift. So it was definitely interesting, and it looked like the brain was telling his to move, and it wasn't moving. So hats off to Cejudo, man. That was a fun fight to watch. DJ is the greatest fighter, one of the greatest fighters of all time, pound for pound. It was fun to watch, and hats off to Cejudo.
You're owed a piece of that victory. I don't know if you saw his coach on the show last week, Ariel Alvarez, saying that he heard you talk about how you dealt with the injury and what happened on my show and he remembered that in between rounds, and he remembered how it wasn't about treating the ankle, it was about treating the back of the leg, and so your information helped him. Like, it was almost like hitting your funny bone. So you're owed a piece of that victory.
Yeah, but I don't like to give any credit to anybody who coaches the Pitbull brothers. So
that's true. Sorry.
That guy's pointed me against Patrick twice, whatever his name is.
Yes.
We'll see.
Okay, fair enough. I'd imagine they're still on your radar as well, right?
That's a joke, man. All that loudmouth little dude wants to do is talk and talk and talk. I mean, he had the opportunity to sign on the dotted line. He turned down the fight. Now he's coming out slandering my name, putting articles out there that 15 years from now, that my son is going to read, going to have to question whether or not his dad was a clean fighter. And it's completely unfounded information. He never talks about fighting me. Only talks about just throwing stuff out there. He loves it. Be a loudmouth. He did the same thing with Darren Caldwell. Darren Caldwell tried to fight him. He wouldn't fight Darren Caldwell. So honestly, the dude just needs to get smacked. I don't know. Maybe next time I see him, something about it, because he obviously won't sign on the dotted line and fight me in a cage. So it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter unless I can make 145, which I don't think I can. I don't think he's going to agree to fight me.
I have to say, Michael, I'm very happy for you. I want to wish you congratulations on the new deal. I also have to say I'm very close to unfollowing you on Instagram because those videos of you doing handstands and lifting up the weights and things like that, I mean, I just feel horrible about myself. I can't watch these videos anymore. Each one more impressive than the next, but I've had enough. So maybe later today I will have to do, but I wanted to let you know so that you didn't see like, oh, why is Ariel unfollowing me? I just, you make me feel very bad about myself. I just have to say it. I have to put
No,
it out
man.
there.
No, Instagram can be one of the greatest motivators of all time, man. Get on Instagram, check out those videos,
Oh my God.
check out the workouts, check out the insane amount of training I'm doing in between fights, making sure that this body lasts as long as it possibly can to be able to go out there and perform in front of tons of people. Shout out to my boy Marcos for being an awesome video editor. He's been making a lot of magic these days, and we're going to keep on doing all kinds of off the wall stuff. I'm going to go out there and find as many fitness challenges as I possibly can and keep on following because it's going to be fun.
All right. Well, congrats, man. Happy for you. Looking forward to your next fight. Keep us posted. And thanks for finally returning and responding to one of my texts. It's nice to have you back in my life. Thank you very much.
We're back. We're friends again, man. We can be friends again.
All right. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Michael. All the best to you. Congrats again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he is, Mike Chandler, former Bellator lightweight champion. If you are not following him on Instagram, I would suggest maybe not doing so because his workouts are insane. He just posted one a couple of days ago where he's literally doing a handstand and there are two weights on the ground and he's lifting them up like he's up against the wall. His legs are up against the wall. He's doing the handstand, but he's holding on to dumbbells and he's going like 1, 2, 3. So like at one point, like he's got one hand on the ground, a fist. It's insane. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And like he's a specimen. He's jumping up and down. I mean, he doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body. He's not even getting ready for a particular fight at this time. I can't imagine being in that kind of shape. I cannot imagine. I can't even wrap my head around it. I can't fathom it. It's crazy. So he's back, signed a deal, shorter perhaps than we may have expected. Talked about Eddie Alvarez. I do believe that they want to do the Brent Primus fight once and for all. I do believe that that's the fight that should happen if they can't get Eddie done. And I think it would be good to have him back in the mix sooner rather than later. He said around maybe November, October, December. So certainly one of the faces of the organization, does a lot of stuff with CMT as well under the Viacom banner. So that's a good deal for Bellator to have him back in the mix.